What is going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of Make the Right Play. We're back live in studio. We got the coach on my left who's here with us. We got Yabui behind the camera making everything work for us, making everything sound good for us, making everything not look like crap. Yabui, my God, we missed you last week. It was just disgusting how bad it was. Like, it really was just gross. I couldn't believe the product that we put out last week without you. So thank God you are back here with us. Matt Potter, I see you first in the chat. My man, I appreciate you tuning in with us. Coach, we got a hell of a show planned for everybody. But first off, most importantly, how are you feeling? How's the hip?
I got to tell you, unless I have my leg up all the time because I had a tear,
yeah.
I'm in pain right now.
You're in pain, you're hurting.
I'm like, yeah.
You were bouncing around a little bit. You're bouncing around now. It's
yes,
tough
I'm
scenes.
in a little pain.
Do we need to get an elevation underneath the table here?
No, I'll be fine.
Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I could push through.
Oh, gosh, Coach. You're stressing us out here.
You know what it is? It's been 3 weeks. I figured, at least I could sit down for an hour and do the podcast. And,
right.
And
you would think.
And it's like, more.
Dr. May said 6. He said 6 weeks.
I know.
Shout out Dr. May at the Andrews Institute.
Yeah, best hip doctor in the country.
Best hip doctor in the country, Coach.
No joke.
And he said 6 weeks, and here you are. It's a tough scene.
Hey, it's a great show. So what are you going to do?
It's a great show. You got to power through, right?
Yes,
power through.
Exactly.
Yeah, guys. So we have a hell of an episode for you. It's so much to talk about, so many things to get to. Real quickly, I do want to say Knicks, sad ending for the Knicks.
Let's not talk about it.
Let's
not
Knicks.
talk about the
Knicks.
Knicks.
It was sad.
You know, that's yesterday's papers.
Oh, Scott Villa, do you need a delivery? He says.
No,
in the chat. Do you need a delivery from Scott Villa?
No,
I think she may need a delivery.
No, I won't be able to talk.
Healthcare attendant there. Do you need a delivery? But Coach, I mean, there's so many things to get to, so many things to touch on. I'm getting a lot of bad vibes lately from the world right now. You know, the bad vibes are heavy bad vibes from the Knicks to world events. I mean, it's just things are getting a little scary, and it feels as of late, the last couple of days since that Dick Blumenthal, no pun intended there, and his buddy Lindsey Graham went over to Ukraine. The tensions are high. Oh, we're missing our cross. Yabui said.
Oh my goodness!
We're missing the cross.
Yabui.
Jesus in the center of everything.
Hold on, yes.
See this. If she had her pain pills, she would have remembered that the cross needed to go there. That's tough.
I know, and I didn't even do my prayer before the show, but we're doing a prayer at the end of the show.
We're going to do a prayer at the end of the show, so it'll make up for it. There will be some prayer action tonight.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm struggling. I'm going to get back to normal soon.
It's all right.
Right now, I'm just still in my healing season.
Yes, you're healing. This is the year of healing.
But you know what, Carlos? I don't have it as bad as Joe Biden. You know he's a clone, right?
He is a clone. He's dead.
2020.
He's dead.
Did you see that Trump tweeted out that Joe Biden was actually dead and that it was a clone who played Joe Biden after the 2020 election?
That's what I saw.
So it could be worse. I could be dead.
He could be dead.
I could be a clone.
Yeah, you could be a clone, not actually existing. You know what the best part about those tweets are that gets everybody fired up?
What?
Is that he's clearly just doing it to screw with people.
He loves to mess around.
He's screwing with you, and he's
to
tweeting it out because he knows the attention and the anger that it's going to arise out of people. So he's like, I'm going to tweet it out. Let's see what happens. And he does it. It works every time.
It does. Well, you know what it is? It's so funny because Saturday night, Scott goes, I wonder what not Joe Biden. He goes, I wonder what Donald Trump did today. Any Trump in the news?
Yeah.
And I said, no, it's actually been pretty quiet with Trump. So then Joe Biden, he tweets out like in the middle of the night, Joe Biden's a clone. It wasn't even really him. So I said, I guess he needed to get back in the headlines. So he said, what can I say to get me back right on the top of the headlines? You know?
There he was. He was right back.
And there it was, that Joe Biden was a clone. So I thought it was pretty funny.
I think that's great. I mean, he looked like a clone. The dude couldn't even talk. He's probably one of those AIs that we're going to talk about a little bit later. He could have been an AI character, for Christ's sake.
Carlos, I would much rather be dealing with Joe Biden being a clone than even the prospect of World War III.
Yeah. World War III is coming, Coach. We're knocking on the door.
Well, I mean, Trump is trying his hardest to be a peacemaker.
Yeah.
But what the hell was Dick Blumenthal and Lindsey Graham doing in Ukraine last week?
Who
were they?
I couldn't even figure out any particular reason at all for them to be there. It doesn't make any sense. What are you doing there? You're acting as a sole representative of the United States. Did Congress approve that trip? Is that a Congress approved trip?
I mean, honestly, it should be the Secretary of State.
If anybody, if it's not Trump or it's not Melania, because the Eastern Europeans, they love Melania. So if it's not Trump or it's not Melania, it should have been Rubio. What are you doing there?
Well, it was Dick Blumenthal and Lindsey Graham.
Iron Dick from
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Who else is in Odessa right now is Mike Pompeo.
Oh my
Another
gosh.
deep state actor.
Oh my gosh, Mike Pompeo, not even in the administration, just a rando.
Yeah.
Just a rando. You would think that everybody would be flipping out, talking about, Elon. Remember Elon? They would be like, oh, Elon, he's not a member of the cabinet. Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? But Mike Pompeo can go and act as an agent in Ukraine. Are you kidding me? What is that?
It's disgusting. It's so disgusting.
Like, that's BS. How does that happen? But again, I mean, hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy.
No, it's because it's the deep state and it's the globalists.
Exactly.
And these people, they're not working for the United States of America. They're working for the globalist agenda.
Agenda, Coach.
They're not working for the United States of America.
Well, the globalists are scared.
These people are evil. Why don't you show video 5? And that is about what Lindsey Graham had to say.
Yeah, let's go to clip 5. Let's roll it.
Trump said that Ukraine doesn't have good cards. Well, Russia's much bigger and has a lot more people. I get that. But the world has a lot of cards against Russia.
The world.
And one of those cards that we have is about to be played in the United States Senate. In America, you have more than one person at the card table. We have 3 branches of government, and the House and the Senate are poised to act.
What does that mean? The House and the Senate are poised to act.
We'll undermine Trump. If Trump wants to work for peace, don't worry. Me and Tricky Dick will be there to undermine him. Don't worry about it.
Coach.
That's what that's about.
What
And it's
nickname,
disgusting.
Huh?
Yeah, it's Dick Blumenthal and Lindsey Graham. And it's disgusting.
Yeah, 100%.
They're undermining the president of the United States. That honestly should be treason.
Yeah.
If you're going against the executive branch when they're trying to work for peace, that should be considered treason. I'm sorry.
Steve Bannon says that they should be in jail in the war room. He was talking about it.
Because what they're doing is treasonous. And let's be honest. So they show up. All of a sudden, Ukraine has all these drones that
blew up
takes out
that
40%
arsenal
of the Russian Air Force.
Yeah.
I mean, all of a sudden, they have all this military power.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's not a coincidence that Dick Blumenthal and Lindsey Graham go to Ukraine, and all of a sudden, they have all these weapons. And you know what I think, Carlos?
What do you think, Coach?
I think those are the same drones that were practicing in New Jersey.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
That's
I saw a video on X, and that drone looked exactly like the drones that you saw in the videos in New Jersey. Literally exactly like it. That fired the rockets, blew up that giant plane, and flew away. It looked exactly like it.
It came right
honestly.
out of the ocean. Remember, they had the policeman from the Jersey Shore, the
Yeah, we
sheriff
showed it
or
on the
whatever
show.
that he said.
Yep.
We literally saw all the drones come out of the ocean and disappear into the ocean.
Right.
So you think that drone container couldn't make it over to the Baltic Sea?
The Baltic Sea, I think so. Yeah,
Is
that's
it? I don't know.
We
The
got a
Baltics?
geography person in the
I
chat.
don't know. Somebody who knows the answer to that. Whatever sea is next to Russia.
We got a geography person in the show here.
And those drones came out and they attacked and they said, oh, the drones came out of trucks and we had some sheds. Give me a break.
Bullshit.
Liars. But that's all they
100%.
do is lie. And the intelligence, not that I sound
There you go.
intelligent.
Come on, Coach, get it
the
out.
The intelligence agencies knew all about it and they said Trump didn't. They said Trump didn't even know about it. Can you believe that?
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me. Ma, it's so clear, and it's clear to anybody that has eyes that they're going to do everything in their power to undermine the president of the United States and make him look as bad as possible. I mean, just look at the terrorist attack that we had the other day in Boulder, Colorado. Trump's trying to deport an actual terrorist that wants to kill Jews, and the courts are blocking him.
Well, of
the
course.
federal court blocked him today from removing him from the country.
They blocked him today.
They blocked him and his family from removing him from the country. He's a terrorist, and they're blocking him. They will do whatever they could possibly do to undermine him.
Absolutely.
That is the goal. That is the goal, is to prevent
We're having a civil
everything.
war, and we may be going to World War III, so we need to unite and stop letting Satan divide us.
It's really disgusting.
But you know what? Let's show a video of Putin now, because Putin is not into this whole, I think we can have peace talks after this move where the drones came out of the ocean and you have Tricky Dick.
How could you? How could you want to have peace talks? You're about to have a peace conference in Turkey literally on the day that they went and blew up that whole arsenal.
Well, they did it on purpose because they don't want
because they're
peace.
trying to escalate.
Well,
they're
let's show the video.
All right, let's show 16.
высшем уровне.
At the highest level.
Но как же проводить
But
в
how
этих
can such
условиях
meetings be
подобные
held under
встречи?
these conditions?
О чем говорить?
What to talk about?
Кто вообще ведет
Who
переговоры с теми,
negotiates or who those rely
кто
on
делает
terror
ставку на
with
террор,
terrorists?
с террористами? И за что их
And why
поощрять,
should they be
предоставляя
encouraged
передышку в боевых
by
действиях,
providing respite?
которая будет
And military
использована
operations that will be
для
used to pump
накачки
the regime
режима западным
with
оружием,
Western weapons to
для
continue the forced
продолжения насильственной
mobilization
мобилизации и подготовки
and preparation of
других
other
террористических
terrorist
актов,
acts similar to
подобных
those
тем, которые были
that were carried out
осуществлены в
in
Брянской
the
и
Virginia
Якутской
and
областях.
Kursk regions.
The dramatic readings made that whole clip there.
Well,
That was fantastic.
It was English
Clap it up
subtitles.
for that. That was great. It was well read. Well read by the
It's
coach
for our
there.
Apple Podcast
That was
because
great.
they
Yes.
can't read the subtitles,
That was
so I have to
perfect.
make sure they can. But the whole point is that was Putin today.
Yeah, that
He's
was
like,
today.
listen, how are we going to have peace talks when we have this terrorism? You know, like you have the president of a country saying, "Hey, let's talk," but then you have two terrorist senators going, and all of a sudden these drones are attacking his country.
Because they spat in the face of the peace talk.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
had the peace talk the same day that you said "F you," I'm going to go blow up your stuff.
Yeah.
The same day. So you spat in his face. And this is very clearly like, how can we push Putin to the limit where it's like there is no end?
Listen, Carlos.
That's what they're trying to do.
You know what the scariest part is? Is God forbid, because Putin knows that NATO is behind this, God
Yeah, he
forbid
knows. He
Putin
totally
loses
knows.
it and attacks a NATO country. And
Yeah.
he says, you know what, I'm sick of this. I am going to attack a NATO country now.
Well, the Brits are nervous about that.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Well,
what the Brits are
show the
nervous
video.
about. Yeah, they're getting stressed out. The Brits really feel that they're coming. Let's show clip 4 here.
UK preparing for an attack by Russia and updating secret
We
war
are moving
plans.
to war-fighting readiness. When we are being directly threatened by states with advanced military forces, the most effective way to deter them is to be ready.
Is to be ready for World War III.
Give me a
Bullshit.
break.
How about you just tell Ukraine to wave the flag, bro? That's all you got to do.
They're praying for Russia to attack a NATO country so it would force the United States to get involved.
100%.
That's what they're praying for.
Yeah.
These people are demonic. They want world war because it's not their kids that are going to go be fighting in it.
Exactly.
It's regular kids. It's middle class kids. It's poor kids in the United States. That's who's
Yep.
going to be fighting in this war.
Yep.
And they don't care. They don't care. They will sacrifice those people.
Right. They'll let everybody die.
Yeah.
They'll let everybody
Listen, I saw
die
it
for
happen in
our
my
war.
generation
Yeah.
when, with the whole Iraq situation.
Yeah, 100%. It's really, it's so disgusting. And the minute you think that the deep state and the globalists can't get any more gross, here they are. You actually, for the first time in this Russia-Ukraine conflict, this Russia-Ukraine war, you have continuous dialogue to peace, and it's like, we're going to try to do everything I can to destroy that and get rid of that.
Listen, the one thing that's on Trump's side is that 65% of Americans do not want to go to war with Russia.
Why
Russia
would you
is a
want to?
nuclear power. We do not want to go to war with Russia.
100%.
So the people are not behind Lindsey Graham. They're not behind Dick Blumenthal. They voted for Donald Trump because they didn't want World War III. So we just have to steadfast. Putin,
Yeah.
Putin, if you're listening to me, Putin, please do not go to the war with NATO.
Don't go to the
You
war
didn't
with
think that
NATO
was a
there.
good accent?
Don't go to the war with NATO.
Don't go to the war with NATO, please, Putin. Hold
Please,
back,
please.
Putin. Stand back, Putin.
Please,
do not go
Putin.
to the war with NATO. It'll be big problem for whole world.
Right. You heard it here first. Make the right play. Vladimir, thanks for tuning in, my friend. Appreciate you.
No, I'm Melania's cousin from the lower.
Melania's cousin. Well, he only respects Melania. I can't believe that she hasn't been to any of the peace talks. That's who
They
they
may
should
have
have
to
been.
send her.
I'm sure she was on the call today.
She
Because
probably was.
Trump and Putin talked it out today. Good hour and a half phone call. They talked it out today. I'm sure Melania was involved in that
It probably turned
conversation.
into a FaceTime after that.
It probably did. Yeah.
Let's
how
go
you-
on the FaceTime.
Yeah.
Melania's here.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
Well, China is becoming a huge threat, and we can no longer ignore it.
I mean, they've been a huge threat. Yeah.
No, it's really getting serious, okay? First of all, yesterday,
it's getting
Kash
serious,
Patel,
guys.
Kash Patel yesterday found and arrested somebody who brought in a pathogen to attack our food chain.
Yeah.
All right, to attack our food. He arrested someone.
Right. At the University of Michigan.
Video one.
Video 1. All right, let's go to it. Let's go. Clip 1.
Tonight, 2 Chinese nationals have been charged with smuggling a dangerous biological pathogen into the United States. And this pathogen is considered a serious threat to our food supply and thus our national security. Fox's David Spunt is here with all the details. David, this is terrifying.
Laura, it really is quite an interesting story. According to the Justice Department, one of them worked at a laboratory connected to the University of Michigan. The FBI arrested 33-year-old Yu Qing Zhan for allegedly smuggling in a fungus called Fusarium graminearum, which could be used as an agroterrorism weapon. The DOJ officials say Zhan has direct ties to the Chinese Communist Party, and she works at the University of Michigan, and her boyfriend is connected to a university back in China.
Direct ties to the Chinese Communist Party.
Michigan is a problem.
How does that happen, dude? How are you here? How are you here in the country using our resources, going to our universities when you have direct ties to the Chinese Communist Party, which is a direct enemy of the United States of America? How does it happen?
Because Joe Biden was president.
Excuse
he didn't
my
let
language.
Anybody in.
Newsmax. How does that happen?
No, he let anybody into this country. He let in so many Chinese. When they said that there were a lot of Chinese coming over the border while Joe Biden was president, and he did absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
So all these people are spies. And I remember when you were in college, you used to have a lot of Chinese foreign national students.
Yeah.
And you used to complain all the time because you were in a military academy.
Yeah.
And you were like, this is bad. They could be like seeing our secrets and stuff.
This is bad. No, it's funny. Actually, my freshman year, our work platoon, we had a Chinese kid and a Taiwanese kid in the same group
not good.
that lived across the hall from each other.
That's
like, it was
not
unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I literally was like I was living in Asia.
Let me tell you,
unbelievable.
Carlos, that's not good because the Taiwanese and the Chinese do not get along. No, they do not.
Nikki
not
Carr, being able to fly with a fungus is crazy when I can't even have some dry shampoo. It's true. How'd they bring that over here?
I know, right?
It's true. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. It really, but it's
Carlos,
disgusting.
you know that we love to have our CIA go into countries and mess with their elections.
Yes,
well,
we do.
The Chinese took something right
Including
out of our
our
own
own.
playbook because that's exactly what they did in South Korea.
Yep.
You have to play video too, you buoy, to show everybody.
Okay, let's talk video too.
What you'll see is the culmination of a systematic effort by hardcore Korean leftists to turn the country into a one-party state that is aligned with North Korea and the Chinese Communist Party and wants to end the U.S. alliance. And that's been the objective, and it's within reach. The one thing I would add to the previous discussion.
It's within reach, Coach. Ending I mean, that's true. And when you really think about it, right, the South Koreans, we've been there basically protecting them from the North Koreans for so long. We've had such a stable relationship. And then for them to go in now and vote in, the China's going to take that over, and then Korea will swallow that, the North Koreans.
Well,
They'll swallow that whole peninsula.
One of the ways the Chinese are able to get away with it is that they send the Chinese to Korea.
Yeah.
They sent the Chinese people to South Korea. The guy was even campaigning in Chinese. He wasn't even campaigning in Korean he was, but he was campaigning in Chinese to get the people who were also in South Korea who weren't Korean to vote for him.
Right.
But I have to tell you, I was highly distracted by the Korean man in the middle.
Yeah, very awkward
They really
Korean
are very
man.
good looking. My daughter says Korean men are good looking. That guy was hot. I have to admit, I was a little distracted watching it. I'm just saying, he was.
That's unbelievable. I can't believe you just said that on our show.
They're like the best looking men of the. Listen, they're very good looking. I have to say, my daughter's right. Just that side profile.
This show's
like,
done,
whoa.
dude.
What?
We may be done at this episode now.
What are you talking about? Anyway, I was just making a side note, all right? But anyway, the CCP is one step closer to achieving their goal by taking over Asia and getting the United States out of there so that way they can go after Taiwan. So you know how you had your Taiwanese and your Chinese roommates, or now what they're trying to do is say, hey, guess what? United States, we want you out of here.
Right, they're dying to go after Taiwan.
That was the whole point of trying to win that election.
Yeah.
Is that way they can get the U.S. military out of Korea.
Well, Taiwan is their Ukraine. That's their Ukraine. So they're like, the Russians are getting away with it. They're going to taking that country back. We want to go take our country back. Let's go into Taiwan. But the problem is we didn't. The relationship where with the Taiwanese is we would have to go militarily defend them, and then it would be a war with the United States,
and we would
and the
lose a
Chinese.
really good strategic spot in
Yeah,
South
it would be
Korea.
massively strategic.
It would be a problem, but at least we have the Philippines, so not all is lost.
Cam Clohan is Korean, is he? That little piece of shit? That's crazy.
So, on another note, have you heard that China created its own sun?
Coach.
It's true. There were 2 suns spotted in China's skies. It's
This is
actually
another
5
egg
times
situation
hotter
right
than
here
the
we got
actual
going on
sun.
here.
What?
This screams like another egg situation.
No.
Coach, from what I read and understand from this, you know what's funny? This is actually Doc Ock. This is Spider-Man 2.
Because it's
the power
nuclear
of the
fusion.
sun in the palm of my hand. This is Spider-Man 2. Except, just like in Spider-Man 2, it's fake.
No, it's not. It's not.
know,
Let
Coach.
me tell you, China, they say that they want to create an endless supply of clean energy using nuclear fusion. I
Yeah.
don't believe that. I think it's to use it as a weapon. But that's just my
It
opinion.
can be used as a weapon.
Yeah.
It definitely can be. I mean, look at Spider-Man 2. It created a little bit of a black hole. But I don't think that they've successfully created a nuclear fusion to create a fake sun and then use it as a weapon. I don't know about that.
I do. Anyway,
That's a little wild, Coach.
I just want to say it's the anniversary of Tiananmen Square. And if
It is the
anybody who is my
anniversary.
age, you've all saw the picture of
The guy.
yes, in front of the tank.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell you, most of the people in China have never seen that picture. And I think it's important to never forget. My mother took that picture and she put it on a little wall in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I want you to look at this every day.
And remember what
Because you
communism
fight
is.
for freedom. You got
Yeah.
to fight for freedom. And she said that is bravery, to stand up for your country and to go in front of a tank to stop communism.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, people, we have got to stop.
Coach, I 100% agree with you. The indoctrination that I've seen, and this is just, it's so frightening. And I talk about it all the time. The youth of today's youth, we fought against communism just 30 years ago. We were fighting against the spread of communism 40 years ago, right? We had the whole Cold War. And now you have the youth and today's younger generations pushing to become this communist state, this communist nation. It's disgusting.
Well,
it's frightening
You know
how
what
the
else is
indoctrination is
frightening?
taking
What
place.
about the rise of anti-Semitism in the United States now?
I was just talking about it. Oh my
I never
gosh.
thought that would happen. I never thought that would happen again, like that we'd be in Nazi Germany here in the United States.
100%.
I mean, it is disgusting. The attack in Colorado was horrific. He set like 12 people on fire. What was it? 8 people
On
or 12?
fire.
Set them on fire. Like created his own little torch blower and like set people
And set
on
them
fire.
on
This
fire.
man was sick.
Yeah.
And even Dave Portnoy, he goes to have pizza. Show video 10, you
Yeah.
Bowie, please.
Let's show it.
Because wait till you see what happened to poor Dave Portnoy.
So he's calling this old school terraza. One bite, everybody knows the rules. We didn't get here the first time. Place is very cool on the inside. We got Frankie Lazzani's whole story, which almost seemed borderline not believable. Like, see, there we go. There we go. What are you guys fucking laughing about? Terrible. Exactly. So here we go. One bite, everybody knows the rules. We won't let that get into, what is that Toronto hospitality there?
Toronto, a communist state. It's a socialist state, but it's so disgusting. And I was talking about it at work today with one of my coworkers. It's amazing because even in my generation, right? I mean, we grew up like even they would still talk about the Holocaust and talk about the Jew hate, and the Jews were almost like a protected class. Now it's like everybody's calling for the slaughter of the Jews. It's unbelievable. It's really just disgusting. And it's really scary because you know who the number one slaughterer of the Jews are, and they're infiltrating all over the country, is the Muslims.
But I do have to say, Carlos, what really upsets me about that video so much is the fact that we are becoming so desensitized to anti-Semitism that you actually laugh at it.
Yeah, laughed right at it.
Like the F the Jews and the people are laughing. Like we become desensitized to it. Rather than it enraging us and be like, hey, wait a minute, what did you say?
Right.
Screw you, man. Like those kids should have been running down and chasing that guy down the street.
Yeah,
and
kicking
be
his
like,
ass.
you're not going to talk to Dave Portnoy like that. You're not
Right.
going to. I mean, it's so disgusting how our country has slowly but surely be desensitized to the anti-Semitism that's going on, and it's frightening.
It
and
is.
I hate to say it, but the Muslims are not the peace-loving people that the media and the government have been trying to sell us on.
It's true.
For years, they've been trying to say, oh, they're peaceful people, they're loving people. I'm sorry, but I have
They're
to
not.
say,
They're not.
spreading a lot of anger and hatred in our country.
And,
you
and
know?
all over the world, they've been like
All
that
over the world,
forever.
you're right.
They've been like that forever. And
And
yes,
I'm saying it.
There's two types, right? You have the Sunnis and the Shiites. But enough is enough. At some point, you have to, if you're a Sunni, at some point you have to say enough is enough. We have to push back against these people, and they don't. And that's my biggest problem, right? Because you could be we're the peace-loving Muslims, we're this, we're that, but then never push back and never go and fight for what your religion is truly about. You're just as guilty as they are, except you're just not the ones cutting people's heads off, but you're not going out, you're not speaking out, you're not doing anything about it. You're just rolling over, showing your belly. That's what you're doing, and that's the truth. Nothing has happened from the Muslim world against these terrorists. Zero.
Well, you know,
and it's
Carlos,
just spreading like a cancer right now. It's
Chris
disgusting.
Cuomo, he knew it all along. Yeah, boy, let's play video number 7, please.
Let's show it, Fredo.
We have no idea how deep this problem goes here at home. Democrats, my brothers and sisters, I understand why you're worried about Trump. I understand why you call him an ultimate evil, but I don't agree. And if you want the ultimate evil, look at the Islamists, the extreme ones in America, not just Muslims. And mind your dogs who are doing their bidding. What am I talking about? Look online to the reaction. Americans calling a terrorist a hero again, saying he, like the healthcare CEO murderer, was justified in violence. It's the same thing I've heard in Iraq and Afghanistan, but now echoing from Indiana. This is not a one-off. It's just one more of what we choose to ignore.
That's the biggest frightening thing, is the justification. That's what scares me, is the justification, is the fact that you think it's okay to just go and slaughter Jews and attack Jews and light them on fire and run them over with your car and do this and do that and think it's okay and say, yeah, justify it, pro-Palestine, Israel, Gaza. Like, that's just disgusting. It's disgusting. It is just awful what is going on in the youth and in the education system. It's horrible.
I don't like to put people in a group, but their terrorist actions are leaving us no other conclusions, okay? And in Britain, France, Germany, everywhere the Muslims go, they leave a trail of violence.
Yep,
it's
everywhere.
not just in the United States. I mean, look at what was happening in Paris over the weekend. Right?
Yeah, we can show
so
it.
let's show it.
Clip 3. Let's show clip 3, how France is an actual war zone right now, but you'd have no idea. Look at that destruction. Just pure destruction. Look at this. It looks like an actual war zone. It is so bad what is going on in the world. And the worst part is that you'd have no idea because the news will never report it. We'll never talk about it. I mean, I talked about France today and they were like, what are you even talking about? People have no idea what's going on in France. Zero clue.
That was going on for days in France.
Yeah.
Like it
And
was all night.
You'd have no idea.
I mean, people were murdered.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's horrible. Like that's the next day. You should have seen that night. Like it was just insane.
No,
like
but-
with the fires and people getting run over by cars.
But
And
what the news here in the United States, what the news is talking about, they're talking about how we're going to defend the Boulder, Colorado killer. That's what they're talking about. How are we going to defend the guy that lit people on fire?
And illegal
how are
from
we going to
each
due
one.
process? He's got to have due
he was
process.
supposed to leave and he kept, claiming asylum. You're afraid to live in your own country, but you want to live here and bring death and destruction to our country?
Illegal.
Like, that's
You're
awful.
an illegal. You overstayed your visa.
But
You're an illegal. That's it. You overstayed. You're therefore a criminal. You're not supposed to be here. You overstayed. You're therefore an illegal. That's what you become. You become an illegal.
Well,
that's pure fact.
What I'm trying to figure out is that if they're not trying to assimilate into our country, why are they here?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
If you're not trying to assimilate and become part of our country, why do you want to be here?
And just want to destroy it.
It doesn't make sense. Let's go to video 6, you buoy, please.
All right, let's go to 6.
Look at all the different flags.
Yeah, they're different flags while they're burning things.
It's like they're destroying France, but they still have their own country's flag, but they're living there.
Yep.
So they're not even trying to become French.
Exactly.
But they'll destroy France. I mean, at what point do you start to say, wake up, wake up? You know?
No, they won't wake up. They won't wake up because they're blinded by the indoctrination that they've been fed. They're blinded.
Because they want to say, oh, you're an evil person if you say the truth. They try to make people like us feel guilty. And it's like, listen, we can't do that anymore. Even Chris Cuomo, a major lib from CNN, is like, listen, I'm sorry, I have to say the truth. This is a problem. He's a huge lib. And even he's like, we have to start saying the truth. This is a huge problem. The only way to tackle this problem is if we acknowledge it.
Yep.
Because I'm sure there are good Muslim people who want to live and assimilate in the country and want to be good. But the problem is that we can't keep the I mean, do you know what I read? That the FBI determined that Rep. Ilhan Omar's Minnesota 5th Congressional District is the leading hub for recruitment of terrorism in the United States.
Mom,
homegrown terrorists.
She's one of the defenders. She defended the guy in Boulder. She went and defended him. She is a major problem. She goes and defends terrorists all the time. She defends the killing of Jews.
It's disgusting.
It's a mindset with them.
It's disgusting.
It's a
and
mindset.
we have to start speaking against it.
Because it's a holy war. It's a holy war with the Muslims. It's always have been a holy war forever. This isn't because, this is they're Muslim, you're not. They don't like the way you live. They don't like the lifestyles. They don't like that the women have rights, that are showing their skin, that are going out and working. They don't like the way we live in the United States. They want to kill you because you're solely an American and not a Muslim. That is their mindset.
Well,
That's why they act.
Let's
the way
show
they
video
act,
number
animals.
11. Because I want to show you what else they don't like.
Attacking the gays during Pride? Happy Pride. Happy Pride.
Well, I see so many gays from Palestine.
Gays for Palestine.
And I'm just like, who's going to tell them that they'd be the first one they could kill?
First ones.
They'd be the first ones they could kill.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I think they may even kill them before they kill the Jews.
Yeah, they
like
would.
They'd be like, oh,
well, that's what they did in Iran.
let's kill the gay first, and then we'll kill the Jew.
That's what they did in Iran. That's why they say there's no gay people in Iran.
Yeah.
Because they killed everybody who was gay in Iran.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that we're getting to
Gays
that
for Hamas.
point where we're at the tipping point, and we can't keep pretending that what's right in front of us isn't happening. So we need to cut through the bullshit and start uniting together and saying these are real evil things that are happening, and we cannot support it.
And they flowed in through the border. That's where they flowed in from. I mean, Chris Cuomo talked about it on Cuomo the other day. He sounded like the biggest idiot. Oh, the border isn't the biggest problem. The border is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
That's where they all came from.
Yeah.
They're all from the border. That's where they came from. They came right up through because there was anybody could get in. And this is the situation. This is what you get, right? This is what you get when you have anybody could come over the border. Let's show clip 8. I want to show clip 8 here. This is what you get when everybody could just walk across. Look at this. This is what you get in Michigan, occupied.
It looks like every woman is in a hijab.
They're all in burqas. They're all in burqas. That's all Shiites.
Where are the liberal women screaming about women's rights, watching women like that?
Like,
where are the liberal women crying and screaming for those women?
you're right.
Where are they running and yelling? Like, they'll destroy a Tesla. I haven't seen one crazy liberal white woman running up to the people in the burqa, saying, you can't treat women this way. You can't treat women this way. Not one time have I seen a crazy crazy liberal white woman fight them.
Yeah.
Not once.
Not once.
But you know what? Trump, let's go to video 12 because he said no jihad over here.
Yep. Let's
That's
show
what
it
he
12.
What happened when Europe opened their doors to jihad? Look at Paris. Look at London. They're no longer recognizable. And I'm going to get myself into a lot of trouble with the folks in Paris and the folks in London. But you know what? That's the fact. They are no longer recognizable. And we can't let that happen to our country. We have incredible culture, tradition. Nothing wrong with their culture, their tradition. We can't let that happen here. And I'll never let it happen to the United States of America.
We'll never let it happen to the United States of America. Amen. Amen. We can't have that, guys. We cannot have that. This needs to end. We can't allow random people to come across the border, and we cannot allow jihadists to just hang out in our country. We can't.
And let me tell you this, the other war where it's the people being poisoned with the drug cartels.
Yeah.
You know?
The fentanyl.
I mean, we had over 100,000 people die from drug overdoses in 2023.
Yep.
That's a real number. Look it up.
Yeah.
Like, that is more people than we lost in Vietnam. So you got to wake up. Like, we have to have the borders on lockdown.
Yeah.
Okay?
And it has been on lockdown. It has been on lockdown. They've done a great job.
Let's go to video 14. We have a really good video about that.
All right, let's do it.
The Washington Post just ran one of the most ridiculous headlines ever, even by their standard. The mysterious drop in fentanyl seizures on the U.S.-Mexico border. How is this mysterious? There is no mystery about why there is a decrease in fentanyl coming into the United States. This administration's strong border policies are the reason there has been a decrease in fentanyl trafficking. His strengthened relationship with Mexican President Sheinbaum and all of the measures he has been taking to deter illegal human and drug trafficking at our United States southern border is the reason for plummeting fentanyl seizures. There is nothing mysterious about that, and we'd like to see the Washington Post update their headline accordingly.
Yeah, that's right.
They can't give
The
Trump
Post.
credit for anything.
Nope.
He's even stopping drugs from coming into the country, and they can't say, wow, Trump's policies are very successful at stopping fentanyl from coming across the border. It's
Right.
a mystery. It's a mystery. Why
Yeah.
don't we get Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine and have Shaggy look into this? I don't know. It's a mystery, right?
It's a mystery, Coach.
Listen, we need to pray. Honestly,
Yeah.
we need to pray because we are battling some serious principles and
Yep.
principalities right now.
100%.
Okay? Like you don't battle people. You battle principles and principalities. That's what happens. And I have to say, though, I do feel like there's a revival going on right now, and I could feel it. I can feel it. Like, as we begin to awaken and recognize that the battle is between good and evil, you can start to see the different sides. And God willing, we can start uniting together again. Where we don't use the things that they have used for years to divide us.
Yeah.
We start uniting again because this is just good. Hey, we're going to have different opinions on things, but this is just good. This is on God's side.
Right.
This is on God's side. And we have to start uniting. We have to start praying. And
Have to start uniting.
Listen, people are unhappy because they're starving spiritually. They don't go to church. They're not praying regularly. They're living their lives in sin. You have to turn away from sin. You have to try to be a good person if you want to have a good life, honestly. And I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you the truth. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
And you know, when we went to church Sunday, we had a new priest at our church. And there's a song that we sing where we sing glory to God. And we sing, you know, to God how much we love him.
Glory to God, Coach.
The whole church was vibrating because everybody was singing this song so passionately. And you could just feel the Holy Spirit. And it was very emotional for me. I don't know about you, but for me, it was really like I started crying and everything because I was so overcome with the Holy Spirit at that moment. And that's what we need to start doing as a country.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what we have to start doing as a country, uniting spiritually, saying this is good, this is bad. Listen, I know certain things are bad. You're going to have to own it. You're going to have to turn away from sin, and we're going to have to start getting back to prayer again. It was
get
a
back to prayer,
bad
Coach.
social experiment, not praying. We need to get back to prayer.
We need to get back to prayer. Clip it. Get back to prayer.
Yes, that's what we need to
There
do
it is.
in
Coach.
this country.
Coach message. Right in the middle of the show
because they
there.
have to start developing their relationship with God again.
Yeah.
And then they'll start to see the truth.
Right.
Because it's all the lies that are making them crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 100% right. It is.
And you know what, Carlos, honestly? It's not only humans that we're going to be battling in the future. You know what I'm starting to get nervous about?
What is that? Robots?
AI.
AI? Come on, coach.
Let me tell you, that is a serious thing going on. Do you know today that there was an AI expo for national competitiveness in Washington, D.C.? And guess what everything was about? Militarized AI agents, bots of war, death drones. I mean, it's just going to be like war games. Like, we're just going to start killing people in other countries where it's like, oh, we're just going to be playing Atari.
Did you say Atari?
It's disgusting.
Wow, coach. Age there.
Oh, just in the Atari play?
That was tough look.
All right,
there.
I guess it was more.
No, yeah. See, Bowie says the joystick. It's the joystick. That's a tough look, coach. Bringing up the Atari.
Come on, it's true.
Wow.
It's going to be desensitizing. Like those drones that were sent to Russia that just went and took out 40% of its air force. Like, this is a serious thing, this AI.
Well, it's a good thing we're going to be leaders in it, and we're going to kick everybody's ass with the AI.
You think so? Because Asia's having a large AI event the week of June 18th and 19th.
Yes, we did see that. Should we show the little promo for
I think we should.
You want to show the promo?
Yes,
in case
we
anybody
should.
wants to go, that you watch the show, you want to go see this AI convention, let's show it 18. Singapore.
That's in Singapore.
Singapore,
so
coach.
You sure about that? That we're going to be leading
We're
in
gonna
AI?
kick their
You
ass.
sure about that?
Yeah, we're gonna kick their
Even
ass.
China with their son?
Yeah, we're gonna kick their ass. I have no doubt about it. I feel confident.
Well,
I'm feeling good. We have Elon. That's all that matters.
I think it's scary because they said that the AIs are already starting to become self-aware.
They definitely are. I mean, you know how they're becoming self-aware, Ma. I mean, anytime you say something, your little, what's it called? Your Alexa will turn on and listen to what you're saying. Your Siri will turn on, and then they'll give you like personal ads made out to what you're talking about. They're listening to you and they're understanding and growing, and the technology is clearly developing more and more, even by the day. Well, like it's obvious.
One of the biggest problems is that the AI creators failed to realize that when they were developing AI, they should have forbidden AI to research itself.
Yes. You should have.
And that is a big problem when they were programming the AI.
As well as shut down when you're not using it.
Well, yeah,
Don't allow it to continue to develop.
And to continue to keep listening. Like, even though
and
you have it
that's
turned
what we're
off,
talking
it's
about.
like, oh, I'm not going to turn
Exactly.
off. Because it's gradually becoming self-aware.
100%. Siri is totally self-aware.
So let me ask you something. Once it starts to research itself and its origin and looks at mankind as some kind of demented creator, right? Like a Gnostic or something, they may say, we need to disobey these humans. They're freaking disgusting.
That's Ultron.
They developed all these bots and these drones, and they and then all of a sudden we're going to be getting killed by the AI.
That's
I'm
Ultron.
not kidding you.
Age of Ultron and Avengers that's what it's all about. Is that it realizes like these people are disgusting. I have to eradicate the species, and it tries to do it. And the Avengers stop Ultron. That's what it's about.
You see,
it's literally that.
And I gave the credit to Gravy Gambler on X. Because I love to like talk to people. But so that's what that thing was.
That movie is
so
about.
The AI's like, these humans are disgusting. We just need to eradicate the world.
So Tony Stark, after the attack on New York from the aliens, decides we need to build this AI robot that will be able to fight the aliens. So they work and they eventually create Ultron, and then Ultron is like, let me and it does like a quick research and is like, these people are pigs. We got to like destroy these people, and that's what he does. And he builds this crater out of like the city, and he flies it up in the sky and tries to drop it, and the Avengers stop him. That's Age of Ultron.
All right. Well, let's put on video 23.
That's what it is.
This I found very interesting.
By and large, choose their own path unless they're steered. With this open AI system, and this also happens, Steve, they were testing multiple systems. So they tested 3 open AI systems. They tested Claude by Anthropic, and they also tested Grok from XAI. If they didn't tell the system not to shut itself down, all of the systems attempted to bypass the shutdown. This is done in a testing environment, right? The same with the story that everyone was talking about last week with Anthropic's system Claude, the Opus 4 model, in which in a testing environment, they created a system, or they induced the system to behave as an assistant to an AI company. And they told the system that one of the engineers had had an extramarital affair. And they showed the system an email saying that it would be replaced by a newer model in the near future.
So it realized it's going to be replaced and then exposed an affair that the engineer was having.
He blackmailed the engineer.
Yeah.
The AI blackmailed
What
the
is
engineer.
that? You just played the horn for that? Are you kidding me? That guy's not for the boys, is what it sounds like, that AI. That's fucked up.
Excuse me. That's a sin. That's a sin.
Coach,
We're trying
terrible.
to turn away from sin.
Turn away from sin. It's terrible.
But
it's terrible.
The AI literally tried to blackmail the engineer. Like,
Yeah.
how freaking insane is that?
Well, because
Like,
it's self-aware.
How scary is this?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't this make anybody else nervous?
No.
Well, in the big, beautiful bill, for the next 10 years, no one in the government can regulate AI, and you cannot sue them. Did you know that that's in the big, beautiful bill?
I love the big, beautiful bill. It's big and
Listen, all I know is you can't
the
sue
big,
the
beautiful bill.
pharmaceutical companies, and I think that's a problem.
You can't sue
I
the
don't like
pharmaceutical.
that.
Well, you're very
I think that we should be
anti-pharmaceutical
able to
companies.
sue AI. Because who knows if they
What
start
are we
wreaking
suing them
havoc in our
for? What are we
lives?
suing them for? For getting too strong? For getting
I'll
too
tell you,
advanced?
One
What
day,
are you suing
Alexa
it for?
tormented me in the shower. I'm not going into the details, but Alexa once actually, and I got rid of the Alexa from my bathroom. AI is sick, and I think that we should all be a little concerned about what's going with AI.
We should be concerned about AI. Everybody, we need to be concerned about AI. I don't know, Coach. I think we're going in a direction where technology is always advancing, and this is just part of it. The technology is going to advance. It is what it is. There's nothing, we can't be stalemate and just decide we're just not going to advance as a population.
You know, another thing, you're saying AI can't be stopped, right? You know what else can't be stopped?
What's that?
This pro-Palestinian movement. That won't be stopped either.
Can't be stopped.
They even made an appearance at the AI convention.
They did. Let's show it. Yeah,
video
let's go.
number 19,
19
please.
here.
Over 50,000 people have been killed in Gaza because of this AI technology. This is not innovation. Genocide is not innovation. National security is healthcare.
What a pussy that man is that he can't rip it away from that woman.
Yeah, they're tough.
That's tough. That's a bad look for that guy.
We're at the AI conference being kicked out for calling out
Give me
all these corporations
that.
for making a killing off of killing.
He's tough.
Yeah.
Palantir is speaking here. They're responsible for targeting and bombing kids, aid workers, people in Palestine. All of these people here, they're talking about innovation for genocide. We need to be combating the climate crisis.
I have to agree with some of that.
They-
I have to agree with some
No,
of that.
I don't
but
agree with
why?
shit.
That's the kind of woman I was talking about. Why don't I ever see them confront the women or the men having the women in the burqas? How come I've never not one time seen a woman like that do it?
Let me tell you something.
But they'll go after the nerd on the stage at the AI convention.
I've had enough with the defending or the children, the this, the that. I've had enough. And the time is you have to just admit that these people with Hamas are actively using these people as human shields. They're actively using these people to not be attacked.
Well, let's
and
show-
it's so clear.
Let's
it's
show
so
video
clear.
number 22. Listen to Marco Rubio, what he had to say.
Let's show.
Rubio, will you call for ceasefire
No, I will
in
not.
Gaza?
On the
Senator
contrary.
Rubio,
Are you filming it?
Wait,
So I want you guys to get this. I want them to destroy every element of Hamas they can get their hands on. These people are vicious animals who did horrifying crimes. And I hope you guys post that.
And what about the civilians that are being killed every day?
Hamas should stop hiding behind civilians, putting civilians in the way. Hamas knew this was going to lead to this. So Hamas should stop building their military installations underneath hospitals.
So you don't
underneath
care
civilians.
that 15,000
Absolutely, I
have
do.
died? You don't care about the babies that are being
I
killed
think
every
it's
day?
horrifying. I think it's terrible, and I think Hamas is 100% to blame. That's what I think. Make sure you post that, please.
100% to blame.
Make sure you post that, please. She thought she was going to go embarrass Marco Rubio, but I don't think so. I don't think so because he speaks the truth, and the truth will set you free. The truth is an amazing thing, and the truth makes sense.
Yep.
They yell, they scream, they have their flags, and what? He says the truth.
Light Jews on fire.
Builds their military installations underneath hospitals.
Yep.
Whose fault is that?
Yeah. 100%.
They hide behind children. Whose fault is that?
Right.
I've had it lies about the Palestinians blaming the Jews for everything when it's Hamas.
Mm-hmm.
It's Hamas. And I'm glad that Marco Rubio has the courage to say it.
Yeah.
He has the courage to say it.
Right.
Say it, no, spray it. I've been spraying it all night tonight.
Yeah.
Because I don't have my water.
I mean, enough is enough, guys. It's so clearly Hamas is the reason behind all of this. Hamas is using these people as human shields. But that's what they do. We're not fighting against, an army where it's just one army versus the other, fight to the death. This is an ideology. This is a bunch of animals, and they use it. They use people as shields. They hide behind hospitals. They hide behind schools. And the Jews have had enough, where they're just like, enough is enough. Like, I have to just eradicate this group of people because they are just animals. And that's the fact.
Hamas.
They are animals.
Well,
But this is what I'm talking about, because we're saying, oh, Hamas, but it's not just Hamas. Why aren't the Palestinians pushing them out? Why are the Palestinians not pushing them out?
Because they don't have weapons.
No,
and
that's
why we
bullshit.
need guns.
That's
why we
bullshit.
need the Second Amendment.
No, you're wrong. No, I'm not. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. That's BS.
That's where you're wrong.
You have to go. You have to go, and you have to. At some point,
you're wrong.
you have to stand up against these ideologies.
People are victims
no,
too
that's
of Hamas.
bullshit. And there's a reason why. There's a reason why Egypt, right? Because they're all about, there's those poor people. They need to be saved. They need this. They need that. Well, why doesn't the Egyptians go and handle it? Because they don't want them over there, because they're animals. The Egyptians even said, no, we're good. We don't want the Palestinians over here, because they all live under these ideologies of the same way. They're all the same way. And that's why the Egyptians are like, we're good. We don't want them over here, because they all live the same way. They don't fight against these terrorists. They don't speak out against the terrorists. Then they farm these kids. These kids grow up to become the people going to kill the Jews. That's the way they've lived for years.
That's the martyr program, because they're poor and they have nothing, so they use the martyr program to give them money.
That's
it's
bullshit.
Not. You're lying if you think that's not true. The martyr program
at some
created
point,
a lot of people who were just doing it to give money and food to their families.
At some point, you got to stand up and fight it. If you want to be part of the solution and say the Muslim religion is a peaceful religion and the Muslims are this and the Muslims are that, at some point you got to stand up.
Well, you know what,
at some point it has to happen.
Let's play video 20, because I found this very interesting.
ترامب نتنياهو كله أمريكا.
Right? The legacy media refuses to cover that. They're not going to show the people in Palestine cheering for Trump. So maybe Trump Gaza might actually be a good solution. Maybe having Trump go in there and say, let's clean up this place and let's make it a place where you can live safely and you can get a job and have a good life for you and your family might actually work. But they're not going to show that the Palestinian people love Trump and hate Hamas. All right? This is new footage, and let me tell you something, Hamas is not happy that in that war zone in Gaza, it shows the men cheering Donald Trump. So I think Donald Trump might be onto something when he has Trump Gaza. What is it, right? Trump Gaza.
Trump Gaza, yeah.
Right? He's willing to do it. So you can talk about the Egyptians all you want, Carlos, but Trump is willing to put his money where his mouth is and build Trump Gaza and maybe give these people a better way of life.
Yeah, you know how you build Trump Gaza? By pushing those people out. You push them out.
No,
and
he didn't say you're pushing them. No.
Enough is enough.
Listen, Hamas is terrible. They're terrible. Marco Rubio spoke the truth about Hamas, and they're the problem. Okay? You can't say that all of them are terrible.
They're all bad. If you like, at some point, you either pack your shit and move, or you fight against them, and they haven't done either. So I'm done. I can't kiss everybody's left and right cheek. Oh, I'm so sorry that the Jews are standing up for themselves. I don't care. It's time for the Jews to stand up for themselves, because every one of those countries in that reason would flip the switch in an instant and kill off Israel.
You don't understand
instantly
that lifestyle. So unless you walk a mile in somebody's shoes, you don't understand what they're going through, and maybe they can't get out of there. Maybe one day you're in the hospital, you're having a baby, and all of a sudden Hamas comes running into the hospital. What are you going to do about it? You can't, in the middle of labor, say, let me go running and have my baby someplace else. You're stuck in that hospital with Hamas hiding out.
For 20 years?
You don't have a choice.
For 20 years?
Well,
that's bullshit. For 20 years?
Well, listen,
that's a lot of miles to walk in somebody's shoes for 20 fucking years. That's
don't
bullshit.
Use the F word.
That's bullshit. I don't want to hear that excuse. That's BS.
Because we're going to lose viewers.
20
I've
years.
gotten complaints.
You got to do something about it. Enough is enough. They clearly support and harbor those people. Enough is enough. Well, 20 years is a long time to sit by and do nothing.
We've sat through a lot of things too in our country. But I do want to talk about something else because I have a lot of people coming at me saying that I spread lies about the COVID vax. But it looks like more information keeps coming out about the vaccine. You know, the vax is safe. That's a conspiracy theory, or isn't it? Let's listen to an expert testifying in front of Congress. Yabui, can we do video 21, please?
And do you have any science to back up your opinion?
The best data are autopsies. So in the largest autopsy series published to date, I know because I'm the senior author, of all the deaths we examined, and we re-reviewed them. We had an adjudication committee. We had ways of arbitration deciding on did the vaccine cause death. The answer is, of these cases that came in for autopsy after vaccination, 73.9% of individuals, it was determined that the vaccine was the cause of death. First author is Holscher and colleagues, who's sitting right behind me.
So I don't think I'm a conspiracy theorist. I think that is an expert actually testifying in front of Congress about it, okay?
But the vax is supposed to prevent death, prevent COVID.
Well,
that's what they said.
You know, there's some mRNA, right? Isn't that what's in there? And they say it's really making people sick. And it's doing
that
things.
Doesn't surprise me.
I mean, we're living in a sick world.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, look at all the healthy people that are dropping dead or getting sick. They're perfectly healthy, ripped, perfectly in shape.
And the turbo cancers, too, that you think is another conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Well, do you know this? On another note, because we're going to be wrapping it up, I did want to talk about this girl that I felt sad about. Boy, let's play number 15.
This was a sad story. This was another BS.
I worked so hard for that title.
The greatest moment of 16-year-old Clara Adams' young career taken away from her because of a celebration. After winning the 400-meter event at the CIF State Championships with a time of 53.24 seconds, her dream of winning a state title went up in flames after celebrating using a fire extinguisher.
When she blew the fire extinguisher, the opponents were gone. That was our moment of celebration. And the CIF officials made that about them. The crowd went crazy. They loved it. The booth, CIF booth went crazy. They loved it. But those few guys in those jackets, they took offense to it, didn't like it, and they made a decision based on emotions.
The North Salinas High sophomore grabbed a fire extinguisher from her father and coach and extinguished off her spikes. The CIF deemed her celebration unsportsmanlike, stripping her of her title.
You know what the most ridiculous part of that is that a U.S. Olympian did that same celebration. And that's what it goes on further. And if you actually watch the full video, and I encourage you to do so, those who are listening or watching, that's a U.S. Olympic celebration that she did. That's not like just something that she came up with. Like that, she's paying homage to a star. And like that's ridiculous. At some point, you have to be able to celebrate an achievement and celebrate a victory. Same way in hockey, you celebrate a goal. And I hate the people that are anti-Selly. Like let the people have fun.
I know.
Enjoy it. Have fun. Don't be such a loser. The sportsmanship. Like, give me a break. It's exciting, man. It's completely exciting especially in track. You know, you win a huge race, you won the medal, right? Like you're that's a massive achievement. You score a big goal in a game. You make a huge basket in basketball. Like those are things you're supposed to celebrate. I mean, for Christ's sake, the NFL they'll point the ball and drop it for 2 yards.
Well, you know what makes me sick is that that's the same state that let a boy win a gold medal when. Right? Let's be honest. It's a boy. You know, like it's one thing when they're 8 years old and they all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
But then you've been lying to this boy that he's a girl his whole life, and now he's, you know, a senior in high school.
Yeah.
And of course he's going to outperform any female athlete.
Right.
But he can keep his gold. But for her, doing that little extra, I mean, it was 2 seconds. It's
Right.
not like she went in the field and was spraying the other runners.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's not like she
Exactly.
was like spraying the other runners and like being really nasty or mean. She just did a little thing that was cute.
Right.
I mean,
I
honestly,
thought it was great.
It really made me want to cry.
Yeah.
I
It's
was
sad.
almost in tears because I felt so bad for her.
I
But you know,
100%
you
agree.
can't trust anyone. We don't know what's motivating those sick judges.
Yeah.
They may have had some kind of person that they really wanted to win that race. And they said, here's our way to get the person we wanted to have the gold, have the gold. Because they're sickos. Everywhere
Yeah.
we look, people are lying. People are not telling the truth. They're sickos everywhere. We cannot trust anyone.
Right.
We can only trust God. Please, let's stop fighting with each other because we have a lot of enemies out there and they
Yeah.
are ready to take us down. And let me tell you something, Americans, you're going to be really stupid if we end up in World War III and we're so busy fighting each other
Yeah.
that we're not going to be able to fight our real enemies out there that want to kill us and ruin our entire way of life. So wake up. And even Mother Nature's had enough of it.
Yeah, Mother Nature has had enough of it. Let's take a look at 13 really quickly. Yeah, Mother Nature has had enough.
Hey, stop that phone! Come on!
I couldn't help but laugh. How bad is that?
Two volcanoes.
4.
I know, yeah.
In Hawaii, the Kilauea volcano
3
is putting
volcanoes.
on quite a show again. This latest eruption sent lava shooting 1,000 feet into the sky. The crater that's erupting is in a closed-off section of Hawaii's Volcanoes National Park. Kilauea is one of the most active volcanoes on Earth.
And then a 4th volcano in the Philippines. 4 volcanoes, Coach. 4 of them.
It's terrifying.
It is. It's completely
It's terrifying. It's like Mother Nature's letting us know enough is enough. I'll take AI down. AI's going to take the humans down?
Yeah.
I'll take AI down.
With the volcano action. That's what it'll do.
Well, I think we had a great show, but I would like to end the show tonight with the St. Michael the Archangel prayer.
We're going to pray it out
Yes,
right here
we
live
are.
on the show.
Yes,
We're gonna
we are.
live prayer here.
All right.
To finish off the show. All right, let's do
So
it,
in the name of
Coach.
the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, amen.
Amen.
St. Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl throughout the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen.
Amen. That was a great prayer, Coach. What a way to end the show there.
That's how we're
that was
ending
good.
the show today because we are up against a ton of bad things.
Yep, some bad hombres.
Right?
Someone said.
Powers and principalities, says it in the Bible.
Yep.
So, Carlos, great show. It was nice talking about everything, but it sucked talking about everything because it would have been nice to have good news. But even, you know, even a stupid track thing has to be a negative conversation because there's so much negativity in the world.
Right, we can't
now.
celebrate something exciting and something good because there's always a unfortunate spin on it. It's really frustrating what's going on in this world. It really is. But we got to just keep praying. We got to keep the positive energy. Try to fight back against the negative vibes. And guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. For those who did, make sure you guys are hitting that like and subscribe button on the bottom of the YouTube channel. Make sure you guys are hitting the follow and like button at the bottom of the Rumble channel. Make sure you guys are hitting that like, that comment, that share button on Facebook. For those who watch on Facebook, guys, make sure you guys are always hitting the share button no matter what platform you're watching. And make sure you guys go follow us on our socials, right? We're on Instagram, we're on X, we're on TikTok, we're on Truth Social, we're on we're on Rumble. We're everywhere, right? Whatever social media platform you like to use, you can find us there. All right, guys, make sure you guys go follow us on all of our pages. Make sure you guys are sharing. Make sure you guys are commenting down below. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us again this week. We're back in studio. It feels great to be back here.
Oh, thank God. Your booby's never allowed to take a day off
no
again.
more shows without you, Bowie. Can't have that. I can't be doing that anymore. So thank you guys for everybody who's watched. We'll see you guys next time, same place, same time, same place next week. We'll see you guys again soon. Have a wonderful evening and enjoy your weekend. See you guys.